The following program is sponsored by The Greek, Ely's Radio Shack dealer at 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by Georgetown Media in Ely, Nevada. Regional Planning Commission meeting, October 19th, 2022.
Holding the room functioning perfectly. Oh, yeah.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you gotta put your right under it.
Hey, just let me know. My wife says, just throw something at me. I claimed her birthday month, so she doesn't really get much time to it. That's because I've got some.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm gonna invest in a good earrings.
We feel naked without the attorney. I mean, what's going on?
Don't worry, I'm the most soft-spoken one here. That's my big challenge, so just gotta get rid of it.
Very big statement at the moment.
Yeah.
Calling the Wednesday, October 19th, Regional Planning Commission meeting to order, and Lee, would you lead us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, this is the Wednesday, October 19th Planning Commission meeting. Public comment during this meeting will be for all matters both on and off the agenda. They'll be limited to 3 minutes per person. Commission reserves the right to reduce the time or limit total time allowed to public comment. Comments during discussion items may not be accepted from the general public or ones that prohibit comment if the content of the comments are willfully disruptive to the meeting, being slanderous, offensive, or inflammatory, irrational, or amounting to personal attacks. So therefore, we shall open up to public comment.
Hi, hope that's working. My name is Andy Britton with representing Caliber Real Estate. We have an application on the agenda for abandonment of an alleyway, and I'd like to withdraw or remove that from the agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And that was the one on 530 Orson.
Okay, that's
Yes.
C.
Or 580 Orson.
C1A and 1B.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I've not received any information requested regarding the possible walk alley behind 182 Fay Avenue. I've yet to receive any information regarding curb and gutter issues at 488 Stevens and the lack of ADA access. I have yet to receive a copy of the correspondence that was sent to Bryce Craycroft demanding the installation of curb and gutter and no certificate of occupancy. I've yet to receive a permit or application to be able to park behind the sidewalk at my property at 710 Avenue G on the west side, as well as the southeast side of the property. To date, no one has addressed the 1-foot drop from my parking onto the sidewalk at that location. QD left me with a problem, same with the State Department of Transportation. Mr. Chairman, City Code 11-4-4 has certain requirements for improvements that are required, and you folks are now following that. At several meetings, I told you about the lack of ADA at the hospital clinic, brand new improvement, no ADA access on the opposite side. Out on the highway, you just had a zone change. Next to it is a sloppy situation that you folks cannot look away from. Recently, in traveling on Great Basin Boulevard, you have a semi that stopped in a travel lane by the Copper Queen and then put an offloading ramp across the sidewalk. I've asked you to change that situation there, and we've yet to address it with the state highway. Campton and Great Basin Boulevard, you got a semi coming off a lot, blocked the full length of the road. On the other end, you can see the semi and the other approaching car on the sidewalk. That needs to stop. A poor design to begin with. At the county golf course, they just put in a new curb, supposedly. New parking lot, not the standard curb and gutter, and no sidewalk. Sidewalk has to be of concrete, not asphalt. This is up on Bell Avenue, the city clerk. She's got a fence that's encroaching on the sidewalk area. Again, we have rules and regulations for everybody, or they don't apply to anybody at all. She's a city administrator, and that's got to stop. I want to remind you, Mr. Chairman, I received a permit to put in curb and gutter along my property at 710 Avenue G, did it according to code, and then the city turned around and sued me after giving me permission, and I am in code, and yet these examples that I gave you have yet to be corrected. That falls on you folks. You need to correct that. Mr. Chairman, in traveling to McGill to see a friend of mine on Avenue K, you have an installation, lack of ADA access, not been addressed.
Okay.
You
time's
need to
up,
round
George.
it up
Thank you.
and start working on this, Mr. Chairman. How many times I gotta come before you?
We'll catch you at the end. Thank you.
I'll be back.
Any other public comments at this time? Okay, we'll close public comments and open up for item A. Discussion for possible action, approval of home occupation permit. Applicant is Juelia Kazir, DBA JC Saddle Cleaning. Property's address is 1 Rosewood Cove, Ely, Nevada, 89301.
Hello. I love your name, the
Thank you.
spelling of your name.
Julia.
That is so pretty.
Julia.
Her grandma was Jewel, so that's where this comes from.
Oh, I love that.
I'm not exactly sure what you guys need from me, other than for me to say that it's okay for her to have the business out of our house. I'm not sure what we're looking for.
What was the big question? I think we were just wanting to ask about, chemicals in the area.
Yeah, any kind of chemicals or,
Actually, the question came up because it is not Julia's house to begin with, it's her parents' house, whether she had the permission or not, because it
Yeah.
states in the contract that she has to have permission of the legal owner of the residence.
Okay.
So that's what the question was.
Yeah, and that's fine. Yeah, it's her house. I mean, guess it's not.
But
a
no
paper,
chemicals or anything, all I'm using is mink oil, so.
Yeah,
Nothing,
saddle soap, meat
Yeah.
oil, but everything's
Nothing.
non-caustic or anything.
dish soap, nothing crazy.
right.
Well, good for you. I
You
like
gonna
to
start
be
picking up
entrepreneur.
saddles and like
Yeah, you know
grab
how to do yours?
I got a
What
pile
is
of
your business?
My shoulder's starting to get worn
Yeah,
out.
yeah, I know, mine is too.
Yeah,
That's really
my skin's getting a little crusty too.
Good luck, I'll live with that.
I can put some oil on.
So, yeah, that's great. I guess,
Do we need to move on to the next
so
item?
we need to do a vote.
This is the only item.
Oh, okay, okay.
Over.
Yeah, I think that satisfies, we just wanted to
It's
know.
mainly that.
And I guess we missed the last meeting. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Robin doesn't tell me anything. Hey, you missed meeting, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Thank you
Thanks
guys.
for
Thank you.
coming today.
So thank you.
Yeah, do I hear a motion?
I'll move to approve the home occupation.
A second.
Then you move to approve, and Jesse seconds, and all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you for coming.
Thank you guys, appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Okay, we move on to item B, discussion of possible action, approval of the home occupation permit. Applicant is Sean McLean, DBA Sim Flooring and More. Property's address is 342 Parker Avenue, Ely, Nevada, 89301.
Call and leave them a message.
This is the first time that's.
For this one.
Yeah, okay.
Are you not sure to call it?
Yeah.
We'll attempt to call him once and if he doesn't answer, we'll move on.
Yeah, move the table and move on.
Is there any, on that, I mean, isn't like people are coming to his place there, he's going,
I would assume that, yeah.
I guess we pick up carpet or somewhere, to annoy him, but I don't know what he's.
We wouldn't know where he's storing any of his, materials or anything else like that, and it doesn't look like,
He's not doing any work at home, it would have to be storage pickup and,
Yeah, could be just shipped to the site
Yeah.
for every job or something.
yeah, I didn't get much
and
information.
looking at this property, it doesn't look like there's any place for
Yeah,
storage.
This is Jennifer, that would be the commission, and we have to do that meeting, you are not, so we get this comment.
So put it to the back of the agenda for tonight, and if he doesn't, then we'll table
Yeah.
it for next one.
Yeah, we'll skip for the moment item B, and we'll
Can I ask a
return to
question?
it. Yeah.
Is this the lot we're talking about, or is it a different?
I don't think so, I think that's the
No,
next.
I think that's the one that we withdrew.
Oh,
That's the one on,
let me see what page.
I can tell you right. Let me take a look at it. Yeah, that's the one that just was withdrawn, the one on Orson.
I guess the reason I asked the question, how much of that do they want? That whole thing has gotta be bigger than 50 by 97.
No, actually, he withdrew.
He
that item.
withdrew, so
Oh.
we're not.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, because the alley was not an alley.
okay,
it's a creek,
I'm sorry.
it's a creek through there.
It's Murray
Did you
Creek.
say crick?
Creek,
Creek.
creek through there, so I mean, it's, just by looking at it, there's not much you can do.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're holding off on item B. Let's go on to item C. And item C is the one that we have withdrawn, Calibre Realty. So,
What was the reason again?
They didn't state the reason.
Hmm?
They didn't state the reason.
yeah, he did not state the reason, he just withdrew.
Okay, thank you.
So it's just 1A and 1B
Yeah.
that's withdrawn?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are we still on B?
We're on C and we're skipping 1A and 1B, so.
so we
And
move
you withdrew
to,
that one, and the next page.
So we're.
so we move on to 2A. Item C, 2A. And it's a public hearing. Purpose of the hearing is to consider a petition for vacation or abandonment of a road or easement. The applicants Thomas W. Stagg and Ann Wilson wish to have the section of Third Avenue that is located between their two properties abandoned. Property address or general location, Third Avenue between 994 Murray Street, APN 001-337-01, Block 20, Lot 9, and 1000 Murray Street, APN 001-345-04, Block 26, Lots 1 through 4, Ely, Nevada. Total area of the abandonment will be approximately 50 by 97.45 feet.
Yeah, when I bought the property, I was under the impression that
Would
that
you
was,
state your name for the record,
oh,
please?
Thomas W. Stagg. I live at 1000 Murray. I was under the impression that that abandonment had already taken place. The house was built in 1940,
This one, the guy didn't show up.
and the retaining wall was built in 1940.
This one here.
So it's been there for maybe 2 years, so
Yeah,
But I'm more than willing to pay the money and do it properly, so.
Okay. And right now, we're just taking a public input. When we move to item 2B, then we'll open up for discussion.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
Hi, Terry Borgoff, 994 Murray, here representing Ann Wilson. She lives in South Carolina, so she was unable to be here tonight.
okay.
I currently live in the property anyway, and will be purchasing it from her as well. So the retaining wall in question on our side of the property where we thought was our side yard area, I mean, my parents have lived here 20 years, and that wall's been there at least that long, so we just thought it was part of the property. So we're just asking that it just be abandoned. We can continue to care for it. Mr. Stagg and I live next door to each other. We coexist very well. We use the alleyway as parking for vehicles and things, and just ask that we can continue to do so. We maintain it. We landscaped, make things look nice instead of just a dirt lot. So I hope you will take that into consideration.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Any other public comments on this? Okay, I will close it for public comments, and I will open up for discussion for possible action. Recommendation of approval of a petition for vacation abandonment of road or easement. Applicants Thomas L. Stagg and Ann Wilson wish to have section 3rd Avenue that is located between their two properties abandoned. Property address or general location, 3rd Avenue between 994 Murray Street, APN 001-337-01, Block 20, Lot 9, and 1000 Murray Street, APN 001-345-04, Block 26, Lots 1 through 4, Ely, Nevada. Total area to be abandoned would be approximately 50 by 97.45. I noted in here too, in your application, it mentions that that is actually 25 by 45. So I'm wondering which one is correct.
I think we were thinking each of us is 25.
Probably
And it means in the
together.
middle, and the total abandoned property would be 50, but 25.
Can you come to the
Sorry.
microphone, please?
I believe the way it's laid out on the lot is, there's a total of two 25-foot lots. So I think he was thinking 25 feet, and I'm thinking 25 feet, and add together to 50.
Okay,
So,
so 50 for the total width.
yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, because I walk by there quite frequently. I live over on 2nd and Vine.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, have you been by their place or?
I know the general area. I didn't get a chance to drive by there, but we see this a lot. And it's good to see it get in order. This is quite common here, actually.
3rd Avenue extends straight out 3rd Avenue at Murray and then goes straight up the hill for just a short distance. And right there is, of course, your retaining wall at the blonde brick house. And then you have parking in the back and so forth. So it's like, and that's been there for how long?
My house was built in 1940,
So over 80 years.
So it's,
and there's no utilities or anything the city would need to access there, so.
right. So,
Yeah, I'm familiar with the area too. The only thing I would have been thinking about is maybe possibly road access up the road, but that's not at all a feasible option, I don't think.
yeah, there's no real access.
Pretty high price.
There's no access around the back
Yeah,
part of the
pretty good
property,
slope.
except for their garage,
You meet the mountain very quickly.
Then you got your place and the hill.
Exactly.
That's it.
It's deer access.
Yeah, it's deer access, that's.
Yes. Hey, listen, I like the deer, okay?
I don't know, I recommend approval.
That's what we do, the district attorney building department, everybody, nobody had a problem with it. I didn't see where
Okay, so, was that a motion, Eddie?
That's motion.
I'll second that.
And you're second? Okay, Andy has moved to approve, and Jesse has seconded. And all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? It passes unanimously.
Thank you so much.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate
You guys
it.
for coming in and doing-
Have a great night.
Appreciate it.
You too.
Was that motion to recommend approval?
You leaving?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I really said that all backwards, yes. I move to approve.
Yes.
The recommendation.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I guess at this point, we move on to item D. Discussion for possible action, approval of a parcel map. Applicant is DMLSS Business Ventures LLC, wishes to divide parcel APN 005-581-04 for estate planning. The address and general location of the property is 3140 North 4th Street East, Ely, Nevada. 1/4 section northwest, section 14, township 17 north, range 63 east of the J&M subdivision. So,
Buzz Rothbeer, surveyor of record. Currently, the entire parcel is vacant land, and the owner is only wishing to divide it in half. It is within the zoning and the neighboring lots for a future sale. I'm not sure exactly what she's doing, but she's asking if we could divide it.
I'd like to see something added. Utility easement. I don't know how I just see a proposed private easement, and it blocks that, and if you see where Mount Wheeler has power here and here, it costs me a fortune. I just remember we ended on right across from Lot 13, and I thought, whoa, if we don't get an easement through there to that person, all there is a transmission, on that north end, and then if we come around, it's gonna be big dollars, or not we, I guess, anymore, sorry. If they come around, it would kind of behoove them if they did have even just a 15 through there to get power if anybody ever wanted it.
Correct,
But I just brought it up, I don't know.
no, obviously an easement to Mount Wheeler Power could be added on
Or a public utility, anything.
at a future date. There's no, public utilities out there other than power. Everybody's on well and septic.
Yeah, and I talked to the neighbors, it's so much harder to do it at a later date.
It was my understanding, if you're a member of the co-op, you've already granted the easement.
You
For the
can
bylaws.
say there's other access through here too. You can't make people, if you couldn't end up in a battle. But I'm just saying, it'd be easier up front if it was listed in there.
Sure.
But if you're a member and you want power, say the person up there wants power, this person here, a different person doesn't necessarily have to get the right way, you have to go through eminent domain.
Gotcha.
So I'm just trying to save a headache
Sure.
and whatever you guys want to do.
yeah, so this is the one that is bisected by that potential power easement that goes between Cross Timbers and McGill.
I don't know. That's on the power line.
That, I think you're talking about the transmission line.
It's a rough road.
And I just looked at it, 'cause I thought, you know how it goes later on, it could be an issue that they delay or cost money or, whatever. It's easier up front.
Right.
And it's only a single phase overhead, 15 feet would be plenty.
To make the change on this map, I believe we would have to go through the signature process again. But I can notify the owner and do an easement description that she can record also.
Oh, that would be, on the lower one, the south
Correct.
one.
No, I see what you're saying now.
But
It makes sense.
just point of note or whatever the heck you want to call it. It's not my business anymore. It looks good.
Aside from that, there's no other, obviously, there's no other utilities or anything out there.
Septic wells.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there could be phone, but I don't recall seeing phone there either.
And I talked to the neighbors out there.
Nothing up. I didn't drive out there, so I didn't.
Is the section that's being abandoned the one that is marked 4th East Street?
Do you approve those?
No, no, man, this is parcel map, item B.
Oh.
This is on North Pole Line Road up there on
Correct.
4th East.
Cross Timber subdivision.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that northeast corner. Other than that, we all for it.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
No, that was a good point.
Just
I mean,
saves people a lot of headache and money.
a month ago, it would have been a very easy process to add utility to that note.
And the neighbors get along better than it, yeah, it's already a done deal.
I will notify her that, that's a good idea if she's planning on selling the south lot and building on the north lot, she could, potentially, have an issue.
Yeah, somebody needs to, just like down the road, when I saw it just private, yeah, you need it, you know, just a PUE, you know what I mean, so. Other than that, I thought it was good, it makes it more sellable maybe, vacant lots,
Better access
yeah.
to, yeah.
And up north, it's all public land,
Correct.
you know, so that's why it would cost a fortune to get up around there, it's a long ways away.
So you think it'll work?
What?
You think it'll work?
Well, as long as he gets an easement on there, I think, you know, and he talks to him on that southern parcel, and it's just like being landlocked, your power lot, that's gonna cost you more than putting a little gravel on the road would cost.
Currently, it's a non-issue because she owns both parcels. if
Yeah.
It's approved,
Yep,
but on a future sale, it could create an issue.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I move to approve.
Okay. Andy moves to approve, do I hear a second?
I'll go ahead and second, I don't see a problem since being that she does own, you know, both lots at the moment, so I don't see a problem, I'll second that.
Okay, and Leah seconds?
Have you heard any of that?
No.
Sorry, George.
Did you make
Did you repeat that?
I will go ahead and second that.
Okay, Leah seconds, Andy makes the motion to approve. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? It passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, I like the shades.
Okay, from that, we move on to discussion for possible action, approval of boundary line adjustment map. Applicants are Paul M. and Gwendolyn L. Hannock. Wish to do a boundary line adjustment for an existing encroachment. The address and general location of the property is 2863 North 9th West Street, 1/4 section southeast, section 15, Township 17 North, range 63 East, for the Cross Timber Subdivision, APN 005-581-62 and 005-581-73.
Jones Barrett, surveyor of record. The southern parcel, the owner of the southern parcel was planning to sell that. And that is when it was discovered that the northern parcel's house was on his lot. So we have slid the boundary south far enough to encompass all of the improvements of the north lot and the house. And we've also created 2 driveway easements across Hannock's property, so there won't be any future access issues. With the county road is actually wholly outside of the 100-foot Peacock copper easement that goes across there.
So it's being set up to be compliant with the rest of the.
Well, I think there was a lot of assumptions in Cross Timbers where they thought the county road was in the center of that 100-foot easement, and it is not. But Peacock Copper also granted the easement to the road department quite a few years back. It states that they're within 50 feet of the existing power line that was there, which we went out and located those foundations from the old structures, and the road does fall within that 50 foot, but it does not fall inside of the 100-foot easement.
Okay.
So essentially all we're doing is moving the boundary line south far enough. So the northern lot's house is on its lot, not on the neighbor's property.
And it's just for that section though, right? Or is it going to be down the whole thing?
No, it does bounce around. Often the lot will encompass the entire 100-foot easement, and then other parts in that subdivision, it'll encompass half of the easement. So I'm not, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what the thought was there. My guess is they were probably trying to grab some gross acreage.
Okay. And again, I didn't drive out there, so I didn't look at it, but is that's not gonna add like a jog in that road or?
No, it doesn't do anything to the county road.
Okay.
Basically, we're just moving the boundary line down to her fence. It's actually exactly where I put it, right on her fence.
I didn't see a problem with that there.
When they built the house, they measured over from the county road, thinking that they were in the right spot, and the county road was, 100 feet off, basically, 75 feet at least.
Yeah, that whole area out there, see, it needs to be a bit more formalized anyway, because I've driven that a few times, it's like,
Yeah, it does, everybody's interpretation of the property lines out there
yeah,
is
exactly.
interesting.
A lot of stuff. Certainly color. I know everybody's property. I didn't have any other questions. I thought it was good to adjust the property. Yeah, that's good. Glad they're doing it.
Well, I didn't have any questions really on this. Did anybody else?
Okay,
Oh,
Just makes sense.
more
Yeah.
discussion? Do I hear a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Leah moves to approve.
I'm sorry, I do have one quick question. So right now, there's a 20-foot proposed easement where the existing is. Will that be extended with that transfer? Or it won't need to be, will it? Because it's going the opposite direction.
No, when we do, I'll do a transfer description and also those two easements. will
And
be
those
part-
two easements.
They'll be part of that same description.
All right, sorry. Go for it.
All right, yeah, I'll move to approve the adjustments.
I'll second it.
Okay. Leah moves to approve, Roddick seconds. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
Thanks.
Okay, now we will go back to item B. Have you heard anything?
I've been chatting with him, so we'll see if he answers this time, like, if not, maybe he knows, or.
Okay.
The one question I've got with this is the title. If you read what you can do, it's very narrow. And so the title, flooring and more, does that mean he can just go to the moon if he wants?
It depends upon what he's got in storage, I suppose. I have no idea. We don't have no idea what the more is.
Yeah. It's a catchy verse or slogan, but I just wondered if we'll give any.
I suppose it'd be,
As I said, I just had questions because there's not very much information there.
yeah, I mean, could be bad PR to be chlorine less, you know?
less than.
So true.
More is always, yeah. Sounds better, right?
I'm not against doing it, but,
I just would like to hear him go, man. That's my opinion.
He's not answering.
He's not answering even after I told him
Oh,
everything,
no.
so
Bummer.
I guess he.
Table it?
So, do I hear a motion?
I'll move.
Move the table?
No, they're not here, right?
Moving to table it until next time.
I take that back.
I'll move to table it.
I'll second that.
Okay. Leah moves to table it, Jesse seconds it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? It is tabled till next session. Okay, we go on to approval of minutes from the Regional Planning Commission meeting held September 21st, 2022. I kind of glanced through it, I didn't really eyeball it heavily.
I think it looks great, as always, Jennifer.
I
You
didn't-
did a good job.
I didn't see anything jumped out at me or anything like that.
Well, I'll move to approve the minutes.
Okay, Leah moves to approve. Are there seconds?
I didn't read
Can I second
them. I can't make a second. I'll second it.
Okay.
it? There we go, we got one.
I didn't read them.
Leah moves to approve it. Jesse seconds it. All those in favor of approval of the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. And we go on to public comment.
Where'd he go?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In regards to the item that was tabled, I have a concern. We're not consistent. I want to remind you that Keith Carson never completed curb and gutter around the Orson property as required by code. And he never completed the valley gutter across Orson at Ruby Street, which was an agreement between the Regional Transportation Commission. The recent modular home that's being installed is similar to the one that I rented on my property to a Native American. And the building inspector told me the lot was not large enough, 44 by 100. Discrimination needs to stop. That modular home that's going in on that part, whether it's Carson's or somebody else, doesn't even meet minimum setbacks. I'm getting tired of these rules that don't apply to everybody. I was looking at a citation of $355 for so-called non-compliance, and I evicted my tenant. That's not going to continue. I've come before the Planning Commission for years, and you have yet to give me any resolution. None of the trailers, RVs, modular homes are elevated as you made Bryce Creekraft on Stevens comply with. What's the difference? Mr. Chairman, I have a major concern regarding the drainage coming down off of the Bath property located on the west side of the railroad tracks. The water comes across underneath the railroad tracks. It's causing considerable erosion. The city has yet to put a curb and gutter between Ely Street and 7th. Comes down Ely Street, comes across my property, and it's gouging my property, and the debris is landing out in front of the Nardi's home. Can't have that. Your ordinance says specifically one may not drain onto another person's property. I've asked for years for resolution. Now it's getting worse. I'm glad the flooding wasn't any worse than what it was. But we need to address that. I've shown you pictures of that before, and it needs to be resolved. Mr. Chairman, numerous city council, utility board meetings, so on and so forth, including this board. I've reported numerous RVs, possibly squatters, are setting up throughout the city. Again, how many of them have been issued permits? How many of them are being billed for landfill, water, and sewer? Again, I'm evicting people, and yet you folks appear to let others just helter-skelter get by. And I don't have any problem against those people, but I want equal protection under the law. I'm getting tired of the discrimination. Mr. Chairman, and once again, I'm requesting a complete list of properties and individuals that the city has permitted and allowed to park RVs on the city lots and city streets while living in them. I attend your meetings on a regular basis. I've got more time here than you folks do. Yet, I've not seen one application come before you for permission. So
Okay.
let's round it up.
Thanks,
and
George.
let's take care of business, Mr. Chairman. I'm not gonna continue going
Thank you,
broke.
George. Time's up.
It is up. I want some answers.
Time's up.
You heard me?
Craig Peterson, city building official. The setbacks in MH1 through MH3 zones are 12 feet from the public street. So just for clarification, they're not the same as all of the other residential parcels that you'll find within the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Was it
That's just the front.
MH1, and MH3 you said?
It's MH1 through MH3,
Oh, okay.
mobile home park zonings.
Good to know, thank you for that.
Okay. Any other public comment? Jennifer, do I read this affidavit? To the bottom. Okay. No more public comment. I will close public comment and I will move to hear a motion for adjournment.
I move we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Rob moved to adjourn, Leah seconds, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned.
No one's opposed?
Yes.
Was, yes,
Lots of them.
It's always on the run.
shut the meter off, I don't want to
I'm
pay
a
for
big
this,
fan of
I want free advice.
I think maybe because it was cold this time, I just I should say something.
Charlie said he's working on it. I'm just looking, I don't want to get, cart before the horse, but I'm buying a lot of things, assuming an import, even people think I did. That's all I was looking at, because I have this piece here, and I got the barn, and I got, and some other stuff here, so I have this corner here, and I could put steps along. 12 acre feet is really
You should straight out and head out here.
This has been a Georgetown production. George Chatchis reporting.